One Piece 1176 is out, and we start with Yamato, as usual, following her pilgrimage through the Wano Kingdom. I wonder if it will have some kind of significance, but One Piece cover stories like this usually do, so I'd love to see where it goes from here. So let's jump into the actual chapter. It begins with Luffy chilling on Ja Rule's plate, eating his meat with no shame at all. It was so sweet that he remembered the giants' names, like Hardin and Stansen. I always love how he reacts in these moments. But I guess it makes sense since they gave him the food. Also, he mentions that meat tastes like a dinosaur? Did Luffy actually eat dinosaur meat somewhere? I guess he could eat it in the Strong World. But I was wondering, is the Strong World canon now? I guess it is considering Shiki and all. Meanwhile, Usopp wasted no time and went straight into lying about how he beat Ors, someone 3 times size of a giant. It seems like the giants just appreciate the Straw Hats as much as crew appreciates them. I just love this pace of One Piece, seeing the dynamic of the crew just chilling, having fun, exploring things. It's like the calm before the storm, right before all hell breaks down. Then the scene shifts to Nika, and the argument about the Harley text and the Sun God. The first thing that came to mind was that Harley should be associated with the hall, like a giant hall of Valhalla. So, I guess somewhere on the mainland there is a giant castle with the Great Hall, containing ancient text in the old language. I think it's the same language as on the poneglyphs, and we'll most likely return to this later. Since we have Robin, she'll probably translate it. Be prepared for a lot of explanations in this arc about Sun God, identity, and whole Nika business. Since we are in Elbaf, the land of Norse mythology and giants, I'm guessing Oda will go all out with the Norse references. For example, Ragnarok symbolizes rebirth and destruction. Same ideas that what was mentioned in the ancient texts of giants. Ragnarok symbolizing a battle between gods and giants. Gods as Aesir, representing the celestial dragons, and the giants representing Vanir as the giants of Elbaf. Ragnarok also predicts that the world will be engulfed in flames, which we have also seen as a favorite tactic of the celestial dragons, and a flood, which could relate to Imu's secret plans. So yes, this arc is shaping up to be very Norse mythology heavy. I still don't understand how the Sun God is related to the world being destroyed twice, or why Ja Rule does not remember details about Sun God. He's like 408 years old, considering Doggy and Broggy are just 160 years old, and in their prime, giants must live at least 300 years, right? Ja Rule should have heard some stories from his grandfather or father, or someone else in Elbaf, who was directly affected by the Void Century and Nika. Unless maybe the sword in his head really did affect his brain. I mean, the guy literally has a sword stuck between his brain and the helmet. And Loki was the one who stopped him. Speaking of Loki, I am amazed how much Luffy defends that guy. I guess Loki will turn out to be a tragic figure of Elbaf. The Loki topic is so interesting that I'll make a separate video about him. Road, on the other hand, is such a tool. He does not even mind being a slave, and not just a slave, he's number 3 in line, after Zeus and Sanji. As I mentioned earlier, the giants, Vanir, and the gods, Aesir, don't get along. Loki even calls the celestial dragons scum. Also, one of the Holy Knights, Ganko, is giving a major emo vibes with the arrow. We can't tell how strong the Holy Knights are just yet, but if you remember Dragon's words, when the Holy Knights join the fight, that's when the real fight begins. From this interaction, we can see that Holy Knights are one of the world government's main forces, ranking above Marines. In chapter 907, Shanks' evil twin shows up for the first time. I guess we can call him the evil Shanks.
That's right. He's not Drake. He's Hans Remore, Drake's evil twin.
Some people might still say that this is Shanks, but if the scar on his eye and the surprisingly missing, I guess not missing, arm is not convincing, let's go back to the flashback on God Valley. Young Figureland looks at the kids and says, "Look, kids, he did not mean celestial dragon kids. He meant his own children in plural, which were left in the boxes of treasure." And Gold D. Roger actually picked one of the chests. This means Oda has been building the evil twin theory for a long time. We have seen the evil twin here and there, like when he met with the elders on Marijua. Shanks' evil twin received a mission to crush the rebel army and free the blockade. For that he needs Loki. Whatever powers Loki has, it will be useful to end the blockade on Marijua. Meanwhile, we see Luffy heading there, with the Zoro no less. So, we might have a three-way standoff between Loki, Straw Hats, and the Holy Knights. Whatever happens next, I'm sure it will be filled with lore and action, and we have a lot of interesting chapters ahead of us.